It's under that panel.
Just stab yourself with it. G'day guys and welcome back to Raging Rhino. Alright, it's that time of the week. We got Bad Batch episode 8 called Reunion. Now of course, based on the title, I think this is going to be the episode where we see Crosshair again. We're going to meet with the Bad Batch or the rest of the Bad Batch, and who knows where the storyline's going to go. And as a lot of you know who have been watching my reviews of this, I haven't been entertained by this in the slightest. It just seems like the exact same plot and storyline as what we're getting in The Mandalorian, just in a different setting and a different time period. Now, of course, what I mean by that is we've got babysitters in space, we've got the Bad Batch crew having to land somewhere to either get a ship repaired or something, and then they do a job for someone, and it's not really resulting to too much. Last week's episode with Rex was probably the best episode so far, and of course I think that had something to do with the fact that they had to remove their chips. This is something that's vital to these characters, whereas every other story's just been a bit of blasé, and it's just been sort of trying to build up to whatever this climax of this series is going to be. And of course, too, being the 8th episode, we are halfway through the season. There's 16 episodes in the season, so this is episode 8. So without further ado, let's get into it. You'll get my reactions and, of course, my thoughts of the episode at the end of the video. So let's get right into it. Ooh, Camino. Of course, Crosshair, straight up.
If you trip one, you need to know how to disable it.
Seems simple enough.
Well,
Oh, that's the lesson for this episode.
Yeah. Disarming. With my help, you'll be a pro in no time.
Sorry, she'll be a pro by the end of the episode.
Omega, I need you up on the bridge.
Copy that.
Why is she needed on the bridge?
hole like this.
Let's see.
Settle owe us for a change. We're soldiers. What other path is there?
It's stupid that they owe Sid for that botched job that they botched themselves.
It's under that panel.
Just stab yourself with it.
As long as one of these bounty hunters deliver the young clone intact, that is all that should concern us.
Okay, so they've hired the bounty hunters. They want the clone back for some reason. Really? They just so happen to not look right.
Yes, sir. Push the targets towards the hangar. Pin them down.
Alright. Oh my god.
I've taken down so many clones over the years.
He wants the
Once you
kid.
figure out one,
You're in for a surprise.
Here's your cameo of the week.
Hunter!
They really like chucking that Western music over it. Okay, so in isolation, that episode wasn't actually too bad. There was a couple of moments, as you probably saw me reacting to. I really don't like Omega as a character, and of course, this week's cameo is none other than Cad Bane, who of course has been hired, and seems like he's been hired, or all these bounties have been hired by the Kaminoans, to track down Omega and bring her back to them. She's the key to everything. But also too, I noticed, of course, at the end of this episode, how the Bad Batch get away from Crosshair. Crosshair engages the engine on the busted ship and it burns him to smithereens. And as you can see at the end there, he's quite injured from being burnt by this engine. I foresee the next few episodes, or at least the next one that we see Crosshair in, he's going to have some sort of Vader mask. He'll have one eye showing, and he'll have, like, they'll make him look really different from an actual clone. But again, in isolation, this episode was fine. I don't like this story because, of course, now that Cad Bane has Omega, the entire rest of this series is going to be the Bad Batch guys trying to get Omega back, and then if they actually do get Omega back, it's just about protecting Omega. They're still not really fixed in any place at the moment. They seem to owe Sid money for a debt that was a job that she sent them on. Now, what happens if she sent them on the job and the head wasn't there at all? Then what? Do they still owe Sid the money? Because that's how they could have told her that. But maybe what? They went back to her and they go, yeah, well, there were these two sisters and, you know, we found the head and everything and we had the information. It was all ours and we just gave it to them. And she's like, oh, well, because you did that, you owe me the money. You owe me the credits. Because, like, how do they owe money to her? Where's the debt in that? Like I said, if they got sent on the mission and didn't find the head at all and come back empty-handed, do they still then owe Sid the money? Or the credits? Anyway, again, their storytelling over at Lucasfilm is horrible. Dave Filoni is a hack. And these stories are literally The Mandalorian in the Bad Batch. And that's fine if you're enjoying that. But to me, this isn't Star Wars. The last 2 episodes have been the best 2 episodes out of all of it. But, you know, when I say the best 2 episodes, I still give this episode probably only a 6. Last week's episode might get around about the same sort of number, 5.5 to 6. Because the main story, that main thing that always kept Star Wars, you know, very different or isolated from everything else, this doesn't have that. It really doesn't have that. And again, every week you're getting your cameo appearances. You know, are we now going to get a Cad Bane series, live action series announced? Come on, Kathleen Kennedy. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much my review. If you watched it, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Either way, just let me know what you think in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next week for episode 9. Later, guys.